All right, let's go. Let's get this party started.
Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. Oh, hey man, love you. So it's Thursday. Crazy days in the market recently. Welcome to the office once again, everybody. I'm Rob Booker. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We've got to talk about whether does Twitter owe Donald Trump $100 million? What are the airlines going to do in the face of the coronavirus, and so much more. So what I thought we'd do is we would, thanks so much, we'd get the charts out, we'd get the news out, we'd take a look at some news stories, we'd answer some questions that have been coming in lately. But I just want to say thanks for joining us. If this is the first time you've been here, I just want to welcome you to the program and to the show. I'm Rob Booker. And if you haven't ever subscribed to the channel, if you're not subscribed to the channel, then smash that old subscribe button. Let us know that you love us with a like or whatever else. Leave a question below if you want us to produce more content like this. But today there's a lot of stuff going on, like volatility spiked again today. Does that mean that the breakdown in the markets isn't quite over yet? Does it mean that we ought to be selling technology stocks? They're canceling everything from concerts to political gatherings to weightlifting competitions and so much more all over the country and all over the world. And it looks like we thought things were over. Looks like the Fed's 50 basis point rate cut didn't really work very well. And so I think there's some interesting stuff. I think there's money to be made. Of course, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all traders, but the reason we're here together is to try to make a little bit of sense of it all. So welcome, we'll head on over to the desk. Got Justin behind the cameras and running the equipment. Holly's here behind the mobile camera. Thank you so much, Holly. And Francine's over here. Got a smile on her face today, so Francine, you must be doing well. You must have made some money, Francine. Sock Monkey's over there having a good day. Roger Stone's with us today, in spirit anyway. StoneDefense.fund.com. Check it out. You might not hate him, you might love him. I love him. He's my brother. So much going on. Does Twitter owe Donald Trump $100 million? So Jack Dorsey's net worth, the most recent news article, will a Twitter CEO be ousted? Jack Dorsey is the CEO, one of the founders of Twitter. He's also a major investor in and the CEO of Square, a payment processing company. And there's word on the street that the investors, activist investors, want Dorsey out. They think his attention is splintered. And what did that do to Twitter this week? So earnings came out, Twitter did well right after earnings and fell right after that. I personally think that's the biggest and most gigantic and stupidest mistake that anybody could make, is thinking that replacing Jack Dorsey with some windbag, blowhard, politically correct jerk from like the Google middle management executive ranks. That would be the dumbest decision ever. The first thing that would happen, they would institutionalize some censorship across the platform and make everybody certainly feel okay and never get triggered from anything said on Twitter. Twitter's the last place you can basically still say whatever you want and not have to worry that you're going to make people cry and they're going to send you to the principal's office. So what happens here from Twitter? I think the chances of Jack Dorsey being forced out are 0.000%. But of course, the socialist, communist, godless, tax-raising liberals across the universe would probably love to see Jack Dorsey gone. But I think Twitter's only got room to go up from here. It's an election year. Twitter advertising spending is going to go up. Donald Trump is going to light the platform up over and over and over again. Joe Biden is going to get, I think, his first cell phone. And so congratulations to Joe Biden and the campaign. And he'll probably bang out a couple of tweets, you know. I think he'd be a much better candidate if he were still alive, but, you know, it's just me. So I think Twitter only has room to go up from here. I think you can't argue with the fact that it's going to be the most important outlet for political expression in the most important and influential election of our lifetimes. So I think it's only got room to go up from there. Next news story on the docket is, listen to this, Middle East Airlines lose $100 million due to the coronavirus. So I don't know much about Middle Eastern Airlines, but I do know that United lets you now rebook without change fees any flight booked in March of this year. And look, United is down. I'm guessing American Airlines is down. I can't imagine that it's up. They're all down. So they're all going to get hit hard. How could you possibly, in 1,000 million years, think anything positive about any company that has anything to do with travel? If I were long American Airlines or United Airlines, I would have to have the constitutional fortitude of a bear before winter, shoving grass and bark and animals into its stomach. Like, you'd have to be able to survive on fresh mountain air and hibernation for a while, because you're not going to want to see your friends or see anybody else or talk to your financial advisor if you are long an airline coming into this virus, which can only get worse and can only spread further. I'm sure that we'll probably get a vaccine. I'm not panicking. I didn't buy 900 rolls of toilet paper or go to Costco and buy all the dark chocolate. But you'd have to be crazy. Like Carnival Cruises, that's a right? Isn't that a cruise line? I don't know if CCL is. It must be the cruise line. Everything's down. That's travel related. I think the only thing that's up is if you are a company that sells hand sanitizer, you're probably doing well. I'm long Owens & Minor. They reported some earnings that disappointed some people. It's a medical supply company. I think I'm long. I want to publicly say, I think I'm long like 1,000 or 2,000 shares to fully disclose that. I'm in it till $8 or $9, or I'm out of it if it breaches or goes below $4.50. But this is a medical supply company. I think these are the types of companies, in my opinion. This is not trading advice. I would give you the worst trading advice ever if I gave it to you. This, I think, is the type of company that does better. Remember, things always get worse before they get better, and once they get better, they only get better before they get worse, meaning trends tend to continue. Trends always go farther and longer than that we think they will. And this is one of those examples. It's already up. Medical supply companies are already up, and I think those types of trends continue. I don't know how CVS did through all of this, but CVS, having sold off a bit on earnings and on basically technical analysis, basically order flow, CVS having fallen is probably a good sign for anybody that actually likes this stock. I think companies that sell stuff to people who are sick probably do better as a group. I think precious metal companies, like mining companies, do well in this environment. And then we'll probably go back to the super low interest rate environment where super giantly wealthy elite people basically just support each other inside of their own group. And they just try to make each other more money, and then the markets of the world possibly recover. Hey, Robinhood, says JTech on Twitter, the last free bastion of social media free speech. Did someone forget to add to your Python module? So Robinhood goes down for almost 2 days in a row on some of the most active trading days in the world forever, because they forgot to code for leap year, which I think is absolutely insane. I don't know how much it is. Why don't we just look at my Robinhood account on the program live? That's one of my trading accounts. I have $46,000 in my Robinhood account. And I'm thinking of pulling that out and taking that over to Tom Sosnoff and friends at Tastyworks. I have 2,000 shares of ONTX. This is not a trade recommendation. But OMI, I have 1,000 shares of OMI. So I'm down a bit today, but I do expect that things will get significantly better as some of these longer-term healthcare types of plays take time to play out. If it doesn't come back, it doesn't matter. I can wait until the end of time. Here's another article from The Motley Fool, Why Investors Shouldn't Panic Over Microsoft's Coronavirus Warning. So tech companies across the globe, especially companies that make stuff in China, Apple, Microsoft, those types of companies, are going to report lower earnings, but that's going to take a while to pass through the system. Remember, the full knock to the system isn't really going to come until 6 months, 8 months, 10 months down the road. Listen, when the knock comes, it's going to be bad. Apple's going to report significantly lower revenue because they're just not going to be able to make as many iPads. So it's good news for Chinese child laborers everywhere. You're going to get some time off because Apple's not going to be employing you as hardcore anymore. I've always wondered about that. But anyway, but Microsoft, Apple, these kinds of companies, like anytime those companies move down is a chance to sort of like invest in companies that have billions of dollars in the bank. I don't know how much money Microsoft has on hand. It's billions of dollars. Apple, billions of dollars. Microsoft's got that new folding screen phone, that Android phone coming out earlier than expected. Probably not going to be released on time due to the coronavirus, but any kind of move lower in these stocks seems to me to be a buying opportunity. Microsoft, my target for the drop is 139. And then at that price, I'm going to buy so many call options on Microsoft with a 6-month expiration. But it will probably take 4 to 6 months for it to get all the way down to that level. Things kind of slow down, right? And then the drift lower takes a while and then scares people. How America's survivalists are preparing for a worst-case coronavirus epidemic. Beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. Listen, I think the growth opportunities moving forward here are beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. I think healthcare, I think precious metals, mining companies. I think, like Remington, I think I wouldn't buy, I don't have any interest in buying any kind of, weapons type of stocks or anything like that. That's not really my thing. But like Raytheon, right? Raytheon's a publicly traded company, down a bunch. What's going to move up over the course of the next 12 months, predictably, 24 months, predictably? Defense spending, like, what's the Lockheed Martin Corp. These are all down significantly. All these charts look exactly the same, by the way. Microsoft looks like Lockheed, looks like Raytheon. Everything looks the same except for healthcare stocks. Crazy, right? But everything else is printing the same exact chart pattern. Down, bounce up, then back down today. Every single chart looks the same except for healthcare stocks. And I think that's the clue. But in the long run, you could probably bank on the nations with money invading or trying to kill people in nations that don't have money. I think that's probably the world's longest running trend, is that people with money try to take over and do wrong to people without money. So I think gold up again, like gold's recovering. Gold, money, like I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. You didn't hear it here first, but you're going to hear it here all the time. Mining stocks got sold off when the computer algorithms, right? So there's a bunch of sweaty, fat nerds programming at Goldman Sachs on Wall Street or whatever, and and all they do is they go, when one thing sells, sell the other thing, sell the other thing, sell the other thing. And that's eventually how we get basically a stock pandemic, a stockopolis, right? That's how we get that eventually, is that one thing sells off and it leads to a trigger and a spiraling out of control type of motion. Well, what happened is everything sold off this last Monday and before, like everything sold off and there was just a trigger, but the stuff that recovers are healthcare and precious metals. Those are the kinds of things that are going to come back from these types of experiences. And so when everything sells off, including precious metals, you only want to really, in my opinion, we want to go back into things that are the best performers in times of crisis and whatever. Here's something from Seeking Alpha, which ordinarily I think is pure garbage, but the SPY shows the current market structure has not reversed yet. So if you look at the S&P 500, it's like, whoa, ding, 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 like a super panic, blood in the streets. Oh my gosh, it fell 10%, 13%, whatever percent signs it did. But then you look at the weekly chart and it's like, that's not a big deal. And then you look at the monthly chart and this is a friggin' rocket ship. This is a space rocket ship to the moon, and we haven't really even at all. This is a blip. This is some money fell out of the back pocket of the 100 richest people into the couch cushions in the lounge area of the New York Stock Exchange, and they didn't even know it was missing. And when they found out you were panicking, they bought your stock from you at a discount. If you are a billionaire, what you want to do is buy more of the stuff that's going to go up. And what you love is paying off the media to write stories about how all stocks are going to go down. So stories like this, scratch printed on toilet paper from Seeking Alpha, stuff like that gets printed because somebody paid somebody to write something that spreads the rumor that everything is garbage. And then if you're a billionaire, you get to buy more of what you love at a discount out of the hands of people, ordinary people, just like you and me, who seem to panic in those moments. So my job here is to help you not panic. My job is to help you spot opportunity when the rest of the people are running around with their pants on fire, screaming in the streets. And we never want to panic. We never want to operate or make any decisions out of panic. We want to be cool and collected. I'm so glad that you've been here. If you liked the video today, if you like the charts, if you like the conversation, leave a like, but subscribe to the channel or follow the page on Facebook. Say hey to me on Twitter. Got a lot of great stuff for you coming on the way. If you disagree with me, if you don't like my friend Roger Stone, if you don't agree with my opinions, leave a comment below. Get angry at me. Tell me I'm an idiot. I could take it. I would love to have a conversation with you. The conversation is always open. Disrespectful, angry, ad hominem attacks are never welcome. But I love you all. I'm grateful. No matter who you support for president, I love you. No matter who you're voting for, no matter what kind of side of the aisle you're on, we're all members here of the Green Party, the almighty dollar, or whatever color your currency is. I love you all. Have the best day ever. I'm Rob Booker, and we'll see you next time.